Hello everyone, this is K-popinions with Belle.
And Millie.
This is a new podcast where we share our opinions about the latest K-pop releases, and we will release episodes twice a month with a recap of the last 2 weeks. And every once in a while, we'll also do a deep dive into a artist and their whole discography. Today, for our first episode, we will actually recap the whole month of May. We can't include all releases, obviously, otherwise it would be like a 5-hour episode, but we're basically talking about the releases we were most excited about or most positively surprised by, or maybe even disappointed by.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe it might happen. Before we begin, we figured we would introduce ourselves real quick, or maybe not so quick. How we started listening to K-pop, why we decided to do a podcast, and yeah, just to give you a little bit of an idea who we are and why we are doing this.
Yeah.
So,
do you want to start?
Yes, let's go all the way back to 2010. I started listening to K-pop in 2010 because my friend she wanted to watch Full House, the American sitcom. And, back then there were like no streaming sites such as Netflix here. So you had to do that illegally online. And instead of finding Full House, the sitcom online, she stumbled upon Full House, the K-drama. And that's how she got into K-drama. And then she made me watch K-dramas, which at first I was reluctant, and then I loved it. And the first K-drama she showed me was You're Beautiful, which, as you might know, stars Hongyi from FT Island and Younghwa from CN Blue. And that's how I got into FT Island a lot. I really, really loved them. And
it's true. I forgot that's how you got into them.
Yeah, they were so good. Still are. They're just, their whole discography is amazing. We'll have to do a deep dive one day.
Yes.
Yeah, but I mean, technically they're not actual K-pop, right? They're more the rock side, and they're not an idol group. They play instruments. But
yeah, well, they're an idol band.
Yes, but remember back then there were a lot of variety shows, and when you were into one group, you would watch those shows, and then all the idols from other groups were there, and that's how you got to know all of them.
Yes, like the one on the stairs.
One on the stairs.
They were sitting. Yeah, like the sets.
Yeah. The one I really liked was Hello School. No, Oh My School. Oh My School.
Yes. Oh my God, I love this one. Yes.
Yeah, I started watching that because FT Island were on there, and then through that I got to know the members of like SHINee, Super Junior, Girls' Generation, FX, all these second gen people. And I actually knew them before I ever heard a song of theirs, just because I watched these variety shows. So that's how I got into the actual K-pop.
Oh my God, you just brought me back to an entirely different era of K-pop. I mean, literally.
Yeah.
Second generation is just completely different. Everything was different. The way you consume K-pop and got to know groups was, yeah. Oh, wow.
And it was so much, I mean, it was also easier to know many groups because there weren't as many as today. It was basically possible to know every group almost.
Yeah, right. I don't think there were that many groups that I didn't know. There were groups I just knew about, but now there's no way you could possibly keep up with everyone. Yeah.
But the other reason it felt like you knew them all really well, I feel like, was because there were these variety shows that aren't around that much anymore, or at least not like the really popular ones that everyone's watching, like the international fans are all watching as well.
Yeah.
We got a little off topic.
Yes.
Yes. So anyway, that's how I got into all the other actual idol groups. And I've always been into many groups. I've been an SM stan pretty much from the beginning. Was very much into Super Junior back in the day. I also really, really liked Infinite. But then one day I discovered Dongbang Shingi, and that was my true love. I was obsessed with Dongbang Shingi for years, and JYJ, of course. But then around 2014, I kind of fell out of love with K-pop a little bit. It just felt like, I know like fans say it all the time, but back then to me it felt like a lot of things were changing. Also the style was kind of changing. Like with the
Mm.
debut of GOT7 and BTS and all these groups, they were very hip hop heavy. And
That's true,
I
yeah.
was very much into like the second gen ballads, the Dongbang Shingi harmonies. So I was a little not put off, but like I'm like, oh, it's not really my thing. So I stopped following it that much. Or actually for from 2014 to 2017, I basically didn't follow it at all, except like with a few exceptions. I always follow Taemin's releases because he never
Mm.
fails, you know.
Yep.
Yeah, and I checked up on Dongbang every once in a while to see how they're doing in the military, which was another reason why, things felt like they were changing because most of the second gen guys were going to the military. It
Mm.
was kind of a big shift in 2014, I feel like.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, then I was out of the loop for a while. I still had these days every once in a while that I would just go back and listen to all the old K-pop, but I wasn't really following new releases until 2018 when I discovered Elevator by Stray Kids, which I was obsessed with. Because it, to be fair, I was mostly obsessed with it that much because it reminded me of Second Generation. It kind of has that vibe. It sounds like a song from 2012, and I mean that in the best way. So
Always.
2012 was the year. So that was like the catalyst that got me back into it. And then I discovered 80s, and 80s were the group that was finally able to fill the Dongbang Jingi shaped hole in my heart. So 80s are now my number one.
You like 80s?
You didn't
I
know,
didn't
right?
know that about you. I
I
had no
never
idea.
mentioned it before.
No, never.
Yeah. But still, like I said, I'm always a multi-stan. I also love a lot of other fourth generation groups like TXT, NCT, Stray Kids. Yeah. And as you might have figured out by now, I'm mostly a boy group stan. But it doesn't mean I don't like girl groups. I just don't stand them as much. I really liked Secret and Miss A back in the day. And
Mm.
these days I really like Stacy, and I really, up to a certain point, I loved Weekly. I loved their style, but then their last comeback was kind of,
Very different.
I I enjoy listening to girl groups a lot. I just don't really stand the groups that much.
Makes sense. Well, not for me, but I get it. I kind of have a similar trajectory, except I got into K-pop a year later in 2011.
Mm.
And I got into K-pop because my cousin had a picture of Kikwang from Beast as her display.
Good
Yeah,
choice. Good choice.
I know. As her display picture on MSN Messenger or Windows Live Messenger.
That
Not
sounds
sure,
like
but
2011.
yep. Yeah, I'm old. Um, and I just asked who that was. She told me about Beast, and I think the first song I watched was either Shock or Bad Girl, and I just fell in love. Yeah.
Yes, Shock was also one of the first actual K-pop songs I heard. It was, you can't not fall in love when you hear Shock.
I know. Yeah. And yeah, I just got really, really into Beast. They were the first group I really stand, and even though I don't really follow them as much now, I honestly they will always have a special place in my heart because I followed them for years, and they were my first K-pop group ever. And then it's kind of similar to what you said. I watched the TV shows they were on and got to know more groups. And I remember when I got to like Tumblr, the K-pop side of Tumblr,
Oh yeah.
and the first comeback I ever followed closely live as it was happening was Shiny's Sherlock, and
Mm.
that was fun. That was so I was so excited to be in the loop because that was a few months after I got into K-pop, and up to that point, I had mostly been going backwards to know all of the groups that had debuted before,
Yeah, yeah.
and yeah, and that was that first really exciting moment of, oh, this is happening right now, and I'm in there, like I'm in that movement, I guess, and yeah, I had a blast with it.
I didn't know that Beast was your first group. I always figured it was Shiny.
No, well, I got really into them not that long after, but
Mm.
yeah, Beast was the very first.
By the time we met, you were big into Shiny, right? That's probably
Yeah,
why
I
I.
had moved on. Well, no, it's not true because as I said, I followed Beast pretty intensely for years, but I think I was more into Shiny already.
Yeah.
And probably Girls' Generation, which was
Yes.
and still is one of my very favorite groups. And then just like you, I also kind of stopped following K-pop for a while, probably around the same time. I don't exactly remember, but I think it must have been around 2014 too. And then I left kind of for a few months and then I would go back and then stop caring again back and forth for a while. And I think I really fully got back into it probably in 2017.
Do you remember, well, like what got you back into it? Was there a specific song or artist or just generally?
I remember when I checked out I Got Love by Taeyeon. That was in
Mm.
2017. But I'm not sure that it was the song that got me back into it. It's just the first song I remember checking out and being like, oh yeah, cool. But a really great song. But yeah, not sure. I guess it was more of a
Slow
progressive
process.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
What are your favorite groups now?
Oh, for sure. As you know, VIX is my favorite forever. Even though they're not really that active anymore. Although, since they just had their 10-year anniversary,
Yeah.
they are releasing content again.
Yeah, I saw.
What's happening? I'm very happy. But yeah, VIX forever, they're my favorites. And then Girls' Generation for sure. They're the two groups I will always follow. And then, well, Beast, like I said, is forever in my heart, even though I don't really follow them. But for groups that I actually follow now and really like, I'd say Luna and Dreamcatcher are big girl
Mm.
groups that I follow, and I still love Shiny and EXO for boy groups, but there are many more like Red Velvet. They're great. G Friends slash Vivis slash the solo projects going on. I'm still thrilled about. And I left twice.
Oh yeah,
Just,
that's true.
yes, K-pop excellence.
Very girl group heavy on your side.
Yes, for sure. I am a girl group stan. It's weird that VIX is my favorite group ever. It's very weird because I'm definitely a girl group stan.
Yeah, and we
That's
met
it.
through K-pop.
Yeah, and Tumblr.
Yes. We met through K-pop on Tumblr in 2012, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's
Yeah,
been 10
I think.
years. I remember I followed a blog on Tumblr who asked where people were from.
Mm, yeah.
Yeah, what I think happened is that you answered that you were from Switzerland, and then you said that if other people were from Switzerland, they could write. And
Oh.
I was like, well, I'm from Switzerland. So I messaged you, and that's basically how it started.
That was a rare social moment of mine, apparently.
And yeah, we became friends. We talked for probably a good few months before we met in person.
Yes. I remember my mom telling me to be careful and not
Yeah.
to be a creep. And I was like, I don't think like it would be real dedication for a creep to learn as much about K-pop as you knew just to like
No.
seduce me or whatever.
Same, exactly the same. My mom and my sister were just saying, "We're like, are you sure? Because you came over first."
Yeah.
So we were like, are we really gonna let a stranger just stay for a while? And I was like, yeah, it's fine. Again, it had been months at this point.
Yeah.
I don't see how anyone would keep up with, especially K-pop that was pretty unpopular back then. I
Yeah.
don't think
I mean,
one would
honestly,
go
if Creep learned all of that and got into all of that just to then kidnap me, I would have been like, you know what? Fair enough. Like, good for you.
You deserve it. Maybe we shouldn't joke about that.
No,
You know what? Let's leave it at that. We're still really great friends now. It's been 10 years. It's
yeah.
crazy to me.
And I feel like we're closer than ever.
Yeah, since, well, basically since the lockdown, because that's
Yeah.
when we started calling every week.
Yeah. And we always discuss the weekly releases, weekly K-pop releases when we call each other. So that's how we figured we might as well turn this into a podcast.
Yes, let's make these conversations public.
And yeah, the thing is, even though we're from the same country, we don't actually speak the same language.
Switzerland is weird.
So we're not even just speaking English for the sake of this podcast. We actually have to speak English together because
Yeah.
our abilities to speak German and French are not good enough.
No.
We have, well, obviously, we both love K pop, and there's a lot of songs that we both adore, but we also have very different tastes in a lot of cases.
Yes.
And many times our tastes are on the opposite end of the spectrum.
Yes. I think that will be something that people will notice
Yeah,
pretty
it'll
fast.
be
Yeah.
very obvious. And we kind of we check out a lot of music, not just for this podcast, but for years now.
Mm.
And usually we also check out different things because you check out more of the indie and rock stuff, and
Mm.
I mostly check out B-sides of idol groups. I'm very obsessed with checking out everything. I have a huge Excel file with pretty much every artist of like first, second, third, and fourth generation. And I go through all of them and check out the whole discography. I'm not through yet, but I'm getting there. And I mark everyone green that I'm done with.
My biggest dream in life is to one day see this Excel file.
Okay, you shall see it when it's all green. But you know, the thing is,
Mm.
all the groups that are still active, I not only have to make it green, I also have to put down a date when I last checked them out so that I know, oh, I haven't
Oh,
checked out the new stuff yet. Yeah,
oh,
it's a whole process.
that's intense.
Yeah.
I I'm impressed. I'm very impressed. Also a little scared, but mostly impressed. And a little worried. Are you okay?
No, I haven't been okay for a long time.
So sad. Well, get better soon.
Thank you. Okay, so let's dive into the May releases. Maybe we should say first that we would have loved to include a little snippet of each song, but we can't for legal reasons. So instead, we will link the playlist we created with all the songs we are mentioning. What's our first song on the list?
Uh yeah, let's start with what from 20. The artist is from 20.
Yes,
And he has a song called What?
yes. And it's a great song.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
You got kind of tired of it, right? Because you liked it at
Well,
first.
I did. I wouldn't say, okay. Well, it's basically always the same thing with him. I think he's been around for about a year now. And I loved his first song. That was like nothing negative to say. I love it. It's great. But ever since then, all of his songs are always on the right track for me. It always, well, nearly always has an 80s vibe, which I love.
Mm.
But then I think it's honestly at this point, I think it's just a question of taste that we either him and I, or his team, or whoever writes or produces his songs. I don't know how involved he is in that, but whoever does that, and we don't have the same taste. So I really can say that what I don't like is because it's bad, it's just not to my taste.
Hmm.
So it is a pretty good song. Just maybe not entirely for me. I still enjoy it though.
If you say that it pretty much always has an 80s vibe, I might have to check that out. Like his whole,
Yeah.
I actually don't have him on my Excel yet. Because
Well, he doesn't have that many songs.
okay, I wasn't actually aware of him until this came out. So I was really happy about,
Really?
yeah, I was really happy about that discovery because I really liked the song. I mean, I too have now listened to it so much that the novelty has worn off and I'm not that obsessed with it anymore. But I really liked it at first. I mean, obviously the 80s vibe is always great for me. We both love 80s vibes, right? It makes every song better.
Yeah. No,
And
yes.
I said this to you before, and I still feel this when I listen to it, but I'm not. I don't know if I'm right, but to me, it sounds like the chorus sounds a bit like, I don't know, traditional Korean melody. I don't know if that, I don't want to be offensive, but I just like the title melody to my very Western ears sounds pretty Eastern. And I don't think it's a melody you'd hear in a Western pop song. So that makes it like the mix of the 80s vibe and that melody makes it very interesting to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I see it or I hear it.
It doesn't sound like a typical Western. I mean, obviously, we're not looking for
No.
that anyway in K-pop, but
Yeah.
it felt very different to me. So
Yeah.
I like that.
That's fair. I I think he sounds pretty different in general to anything, both in Western pop and in K-pop. He sounds
Yeah,
pretty
yeah,
unique.
yeah. I'll definitely add him to my Excel and anticipate his releases from now on.
Yeah, but for this one, I really like the verses. I'm just kind of let down by the chorus, but again, not because I don't think it's good, but more because it's not necessarily to my taste.
Mm.
And I have to say, I don't really like the one part at the end of the chorus. I don't really like it. I can't quite put my finger on what I don't like in the chorus, but yeah, I feel like it's I'm the problem, you know.
Yeah, I feel like if you guys are into 80s and want to hear something a little different, then you should check him out.
Yeah.
Next up we have Blossom by Hwayeon, which you put on the list, right?
Yes, because it's I really I really love it. It has a well, it's perfect for what we were discussing before because to me it has a very 2012 K-pop sound.
Mm.
And I mean, do you agree? Would you agree?
I don't know.
No?
I didn't hear that. I mean, I agree that it's good, but I didn't really get that 2012 vibe.
Oh, well, I don't know. It just feels like old school to me. And I love the general atmosphere it's setting from the very beginning. Like from the first notes, you know exactly the feel of the song, and it's so great. I really like the percussions and also it's not really a riff, but there's three notes in the intro. And this alone kind of takes you on a whole journey, even though it's so simple and so short. It's a
I
really well made song.
I don't dislike it. It's a good song. It's not one of my favorites, but it's I discovered and I'll probably say this a lot on this podcast, but it's really great for walking.
That
I,
makes sense. No, that makes total sense.
yeah, I immediately had to add it to my walking playlist because as I was grabbing my coffee this morning and then walked to the train station with my coffee, that song came on. And I was like, ooh, this is perfect. This is exactly my beat to walk.
Yeah, I'm not
So, yeah.
surprised. Because that's one of the things I love so much about this song. First, because it sounds kind of old school and has a great atmosphere, but also the pace is so
Mm.
great. We're just marching straight ahead. In the bridge, we go to halftime, but it's still, we're never really slowing down. We have a goal in mind. We know where we're going. We're going there. We're not
Which
stopping.
which doesn't sound like a lot, but honestly, with today's K-pop, we're not always going where we think we're going in the songs.
Oh,
so
no, we
so yeah,
aren't.
that's a good thing.
Oh yeah, that's definitely one of the reasons why I love it so much because there's no changing tempo really harshly.
Yeah.
I honestly, K-pop at the moment is making me appreciate the simple things. It's yeah.
True. Because like
I'm not
we've discussed before, it's fun to have one of these crazy songs with lots of different parts every once in a while. But now that a lot of them, if not most of them, are sounding like that, it's kind of getting old.
yeah. I feel like
Yeah.
we might pick up on this
Yeah, we might mention
conversation.
it again in a few minutes.
Yeah, just might.
Perhaps.
Um yeah, but here it's just perfect. It never loses the momentum, I think
Yeah.
is what I was trying to say.
Shall we move on to the next one?
Yes.
Um, the next one, well, next one's actually not just a song we're discussing, we're just kind of discussing the album, which is Moth by Usong, and it's so good. Um, honestly, his solo music has been great since his solo debut, basically. I mean, also his
Mhm.
music is the Rose, obviously, but his solos have been great from the start, but it keeps getting better still. Like,
I love this release, but I still think, oh no, I don't remember what it was called, but he had the best song ever in his discography last year.
yeah, last year was a great year for him. He just releases good songs all the time.
Yeah,
Um,
he's great. He's just great.
my like honestly, my jaw was on the floor the first time I listened to this album. I feel like his style is super contemporary, like
Mm.
very modern, but I feel like at the same time you can kind of feel the influence of like early 2000s rock, which I guess is what he grew up with because he's our age, so that would make sense.
Yeah, true.
And I really like that combination. And Phase Me, the title song, is a masterpiece. Let's just say it how it is.
Yeah, no, agreed, agreed.
I wish it got played on our radios. It's so good. Um, yeah, like the verses build up with this. That's where I kind of hear the early 2000s touch, like the buildup of the verse. But then
Yeah.
there's not what you're expecting, but it's kind of an anti-drop that leads to this very sexy chorus. It's
Mm-hmm.
so good. It's amazing.
Yeah, and honestly, the reason why I think Masterpiece is not an exaggeration at all is when you start to look at the lyrics and the way the song is progressing,
Yeah.
it's genius. Because at
Yeah.
first, because in the lyrics, he's really nonchalant, and that's also reflected in the music at first. It's like, cold and closed off, like yeah, basically like I'm over this person. And then as the tension kind of builds up, you start to feel more anger coming through,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like maybe yes, he's over it, but he's also gone through shit. He's gone through some things. And so that anger and annoyance is speaking through. But then you get to that really long held note, and you're like, oh, it's gonna, like, something really big is gonna happen. But no, he doesn't give you that. You get an anti drop.
Yeah.
And the lyrics, it doesn't phase me. Like, no, actually, you know what? I don't care. Like, whatever you're doing now, I don't care. I'm not gonna give you a really intense emotional chorus.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be really disinterested, and it ends up, I agree, being really sexy. But mostly like the first thing is like, yeah, no. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm not phased. And I love that. Like the music is painting the same picture as the lyrics, and it's great.
Yeah,
Masterpiece.
absolutely. And the music video is beautiful too, very artistic and
Yes.
aesthetic. And yeah.
Yeah. Really, really great.
And then the whole album is really good. I also really love Modern Life, which kind of gives me late to One Direction sound, like made in
Oh,
the AM era One Direction, which is a good thing, a very good thing. Yeah,
I
so
don't know enough about them to second that, but I know I love this song. So sounds good to me.
maybe you should check out Made in the AM then.
Yeah, I should.
Yeah. I feel like that's what One Direction could sound like today. Because like obviously it's a little more modern. That's what they could sound like today if they weren't stupid and had broken up. It's a great song and it's a great album. What is your favorite apart from Phase Me?
Oh, Modern Life.
Too? Yeah.
I love it because I feel like it's kind of the opposite of Phase Me. Because you here you have a really
It's very
chill.
phased in this one.
Yes, exactly. Because the verse is really more relaxed and calm, but then you get that really intense, anguished chorus with a lot of emotions, which is
Mhm.
what you would
That's
expect from
true.
Face Me.
It
But
is the opposite. Yeah.
yeah, I feel like maybe this topic of modern life and social media and everything and life sucks is been done over and over and over again, but at the same time it's probably done so much because it's so relevant, and especially for an idol. Well, I don't know if he really qualifies as an idol, but he's definitely in the music industry, which is probably not the easiest industry to be in. So
Yeah.
I feel like for him it makes even more sense that he would talk about all of that. So it makes sense. Life sucks.
Yeah.
Social media is the worst.
And it's only getting more relevant, I feel like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like, expect more of this for sure. So I really, really don't mind. And it's so raw and powerful and well made that I love it.
Same.
Let's turn our attention next to AB6 with their new album A to B,
Yes.
which I think you might have more positive things to say.
Yes. First, I have a confession to make.
Okay.
Actually, it was only a few days ago that I found out that AB6's name doesn't stand for their blood types. Maybe it's because I was influenced by like B1A4. Because B1A4 were
Yeah.
called that because one member was type B and four were type A. And also M Black's fandom was called A plus because all the members were A. So I was,
Really?
yeah.
I didn't know that. I knew about B1A4, but I didn't know about MBlack.
So I guess that was just really deeply engraved into my brain. So the first time
Makes
I
sense.
ever read AB6, I was like, oh, so there's six members and they're all type AB.
Sure.
And I was so sure about that. I never questioned it. I never actually looked it up if I was right. I was just like, yeah, that's what it is. And
Mhm.
then I saw them live at K-pop Flex and they were only four members. So I was like, oh, I guess they lost two. I guess they're like AB4 now. Haha. Which is wrong. They weren't even six members to begin with. There were five. But yeah.
Really? Wait.
Yeah.
Okay, so I should explain maybe why I'm saying really about a group that we're discussing, but I care about the music.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of groups and artists that I don't know much about. Like, I'm not a fan of them. I'm not standing them, so I don't know how many members there are in the groups. I just care about the music, and this is one of
One
them.
of them. Yeah.
I just assumed there were six members.
I
I
know.
didn't think about the AB though. But why is it AB?
Apparently, because I looked it up now. Um, well, I don't remember. No,
Okay. Great
this
job.
the six is because they were five members, and the sixth one is the fans. And AB was something stupid like because honestly, let's face it, pretty much all K-pop group names are stupid. Like I love 80s to the moon and back, but A Teenager C is a really dumb name.
Say what now?
86 stands for something like absolute something. It kind of reminded me of BAP for like best, absolute, perfect. It's something like
Oh my
that.
god.
Really stupid.
Best absolute perfect is, yeah. But
Still
although
the best.
it's not, it's still Vix is still up there.
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting ones. So
Yeah.
so I actually feel like AB the blood type would have been a better choice. Yeah.
Yeah, they should retcon that and just say that's why it's there.
Anyways, so for me too, I never really cared about them much. They were like one of, like you said, like one of the many for me, one of the mass. So I never knew much about them. But then I saw them at K-pop Flex and they were good. But I felt a little bad because it felt like they got the least amount of cheers. Um, which, because most people were there for either NCT or Enhypen or Kai or Mamamoo. So
Mm.
I I I'm always a sucker for like, oh, poor boys. I guess I have to check them out now. So that's why I was excited about this comeback because it was the first comeback of theirs that I actually like followed, you could say.
Mm.
I did check out their whole discography a while ago on my Excel sheet, but I only very few songs spoke to me, namely Heaven, which is amazing. But yeah, so I was excited for this comeback, and it's not as good as I hoped it would be, but it's good. I actually like the title song Savior. It's one of those, I have a lot of cases at the moment where I like the pre-chorus a lot better than the chorus. That's
Mm.
how a lot
Yeah.
of contemporary K-pop is for me. This is one of those cases as well. I love the pre-chorus, mostly because it's more melodious. Melo- Melody. It's a melody.
Nice. It's nicer.
Yeah, and if I have a choice between an actual melody and just like spoken shouty parts, I'll always choose the former. So I love the pre-chorus, and I like the verses too. I love the whole beginning, but my least favorite part is the actual chorus. It's kind of underwhelming in comparison to the rest of the song. But yeah, it's a good song, and my favorite lyric is just you, me, no hashtag. That's a pretty great lyric.
It's,
So
yeah,
yeah, I had to write
I
that
see
down.
that.
Right? It's actually quite deep when you think about it.
Yeah.
No social
Well,
media.
again, social media bad. I think they should talk to Usong about this.
Yes, they might have something in common. Yeah, and I feel like it's a song, it's one of those songs that gets better the more you listen to it.
Oh, disagree. Sorry.
Okay.
Um, well, I don't hate it. You know it's gonna be good when it starts with I don't hate it, but I don't hate it, but it's kind of a lost opportunity in a way, because I think the very beginning is really harsh and intense and empty, but in a good way. And it's really engaging. Honestly, when it
Yeah,
started, I was like, wow,
right?
that's I mean I also like a very melodic song.
Oh,
Not
that's the
I,
word, melodic. Yeah.
it just came to
not
me.
not
A
melodious.
really but obviously I love a really melodic line or song even. But sometimes when it's really harsh and it's kind of industrial and everything, that's really cool. So I really like the sound. And the rap is really nice and fits the tone really well.
Mm.
But then the pre-chorus, it's pretty
What? It's the
in
best
itself.
part.
Well, yes, but that's the problem because it's really pretty, it's really nice, and it's the, well, maybe not the best part because I do love the beginning, but
Mm.
it's so out of place. It doesn't fit at all. I'm pretty sure there's a key change, but not at all satisfying. It's so jarring and weird, and honestly, even though by itself it's really pretty, I can't really enjoy it just because it's smushed in the middle of these two really, really harsh and empty and in kind of industrial parts, and it doesn't fit in, so I don't like it. And then we go back to the really harsh sound of the chorus. I'm pretty sure we go back to the first key, and somehow it's even worse and even more jarring than going from the verse to the pre-chorus. I am not enjoying this song at this point. At this point, I'm just like, no.
Apparently.
Yeah, like
Yeah, I like it. I mean, I'm not crazy about it, like best song of the year, but I like it. And yeah, I will still I will still be looking forward to their next comeback, because you know
yeah, me
how
too.
when you I feel like when you've seen an artist live, even if you're not the biggest fan, you kind of have a fond spot for them in your heart.
Yes.
And that's me with them now. And I actually saw a bunch of people online saying that they became a fan after K-pop Flex, so I'm really happy about that for them.
Yeah,
And
because
but
they were probably one of the smallest or less
yeah,
known groups there, right?
yes, exactly. But I
Good
still
for
feel
them.
like they could need some extra love. So if anyone is looking for more groups to stand, check them out. Maybe
Yeah.
you will fall in love. Let's move on to Bring It On by ONEUS, which I have quite a lot to say. Do
Okay, can I
you?
say my thing first? Because I
Yes.
have very little to say.
Okay.
What I have to say is no. No. There's so much whoop whoop and brut brut and skirt. No, I hate it. I hate this song. I'm so sorry. I used to really like them. They had cool songs, and now they've just, to me, devolved into annoying, generic, and
I
faux noise music.
agree. I
Really?
I mean I'm saying it in a nicer way, I feel like, and
Yeah, I'm
I don't
sorry.
hate the song as much as you do, but I feel like at some point one of us were like, please don't gatekeep noise music. We want to make noise music as well, and they haven't stopped since then. Because
Yeah,
I love their older music, but ever since like what song was that? Sometime last year, I feel like.
yeah, beginning of the year, last year,
Yeah,
right?
they delved into the noise music genre and they haven't
Yeah.
come back up.
Yeah, and
um,
they used to have such, like, honestly, sophisticated music,
yeah,
classy and cool, and they had that vampire concept.
which I know you love.
Yes. But that, I guess, maybe the concept made it so that they had this really elevated, sophisticated sound.
Mm.
And now it's gone.
Yeah, it changed. Yeah, it changed with the album Devil, which, but I have to say, that one still had the title song, No Diggity, was their first noise song, in my opinion. But the B-sides of that album are all amazing. I pretty much almost every single B-side I loved. I actually added like four of them to my best of list of the year.
Yeah.
So in the
And say
beginning,
I saw many of them in your list.
so in the beginning of their noise phase, it was only the title song, and they still had great B-sides in their older style, I feel like. But then the last two comebacks, Black Mirror and then Luna, and now this. I guess I didn't want to admit it yet. I was still super excited for this comeback because yeah, I used to like them a lot. But sadly this comeback continued in the fashion of the last two comebacks. So
Yeah, but actually, I disagree.
I
Well,
know you liked
with
Luna.
you, but well, not only Luna. I really like Black Mirror too, and it's not
What?
noise music, and
No,
Luna
that's
is
true.
not noise music.
That's true. That's true. But there's yeah, no diggity was noise music. And then the
Yeah,
last two comebacks just weren't for me at all. And also not I feel like not in the same style as their old music was. Like Black
No,
Mirror,
that's true.
Black Mirror felt kind of out of place for me.
For me too, but I really liked it. So I didn't mind that it was different because it was so good. And same with Shut Up Crazy Hot.
That was something.
I I know you don't like it, but to me it's really different from their previous
Oh, for
style,
sure.
but it fits in so well with Black Mirror. It's kind of a similar style. And Luna is the odd one out, but it's so good. And it harkens back to their first style, I'd say.
Yeah. I did like Life is Beautiful from last year, which might not be your style. I did like that
I
one.
don't remember it.
Okay. It was kind of a not like a really big release with actual promotion. It was more of a side release, I
Oh
guess
yeah,
you could
it's not
say.
my style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean Bring It On is a lot. It's like we
Oh
mentioned
yeah.
before, it's one of these songs that just has a lot of different parts. And I know that that is a thing in K-pop ever since Girls' Generations I Got a Boy. And like we said, it's great every once in a while and it can be done really well, but it didn't I didn't feel it in this song. I don't think it worked in this song. I like parts of it. But then what mostly feels out of place is the instrumental dance break part, which did not fit. Yeah, it could be cool in a different song, but not in this song. So I
Yeah,
was
which is the problem with these really,
mashup noise songs.
yeah,
Yeah.
that there are some sometimes really nice parts, but I don't want to put myself through the whole song just to listen to a nice pre-chorus or a really
Yeah.
great
Because
bridge or
the
breakdown.
pre-chorus was good.
Yeah, which is usually the case. In these songs, the
Yeah, I know.
pre-chorus
It's
is
always
always more,
it's always the best part, like the melodic part. There it is
yeah.
again.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
it has become kind of a thing in K-pop, like best pre-choruses. I see videos like this all the time. I don't want it to become a thing because that means it's a mediocre song with one really great part that I'm never gonna go listen to.
Yeah. I think I'm almost more disappointed by the B-sides than I am by the title song because I expected, well, yeah, sadly, I kind of expected a title song not to fit my taste. um,
Mm,
but I expected to love the B-sides because I usually do with them, and I did not. So
yeah.
that's sad. I mean, they're not bad songs. I added one or two of them to my library, but it wasn't anything I was excited by.
Down.
Yeah. Oh, but there's also a song called Mr. Wolf, which was the final straw for me, and I had to create a playlist for all the wolf themed K-pop songs because there's so
Oh,
many.
really? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the only thing, well, no, the first one came to mind. It's not the best.
Which one?
Wolf
Wolfgang?
by EXO.
Oh, yeah. That was what started the wolf trend.
Yeah. I don't know how. Like, why
I don't know.
did that song create a trend?
There's a lot of wolf songs.
Yeah.
It's weird. Next up is Kang Daniel, and I'm surprised that you're excited.
Well, I'm partly excited. Well, there are songs I really don't like, and then there's one song that I'm in love with. But I guess let's go to Upside Down first because it's
Yes.
the title song.
The thing is, I love his voice so much that
Mm.
even if at first I don't like a song of his, I usually gaslight myself into thinking I love it just because his voice is so soothing and cool. So that's kind of
Hmm.
was my experience with Upside Down. It's not great. It's all right. But the
It's
more I
boring.
the more I listen to it, the more I was like, maybe it's not bad." I kind of prefer darker concepts from him, especially
Yes.
since Paranoia, which was God sent, it was
Yeah.
absolutely perfect. So I think that fits him really well and his voice. Um, but yeah, I guess I can't really be neutral because I am still influenced by the masterpiece that was Paranoia. So I was a little disappointed by Upside Down.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just kind of boring. It's
Yeah.
kind of a nothing song. I don't really understand why this one
But
was chosen to be the title song.
I know there are much better songs on the album.
Yeah.
But I think it's interesting that even if it's not a great song, um, he has such a distinct style. Like I can't really name it, but his songs are very easily recognizable as Kang Daniel songs. Like it's the combination of the rhythm and the backing track and his voice. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of.
Right?
I haven't really stopped to think about it, but I feel like I see what you mean. Yeah.
Okay. When I hear that style, I at some point start liking a song, even if at first I didn't. I still think that there are much better songs on the album, but I
Hmm.
enjoy Upside Down more now.
I hope it happens for me, but I doubt it.
Well, my absolutely favorite song of the album is The Story. Um,
Really?
it's so good. It's Kang Daniel at his best. It's absolutely amazing. I'm obsessed with it. Yeah. And that's basically all I can say about it because I can't really it's pretty much what I said before. This very distinct Kang Daniel style and it's a very great song and
Interesting.
yeah.
Because
It
I don't find it very memorable.
really it's so
But
good.
I also don't have much to say about it, but more because it's so forgettable.
How dare you? I also really like Parade because it
Yes.
kind of it kind of brings back that eerie, creepy feeling of paranoia. And I think that fits him really well. And then, but
Yes.
then in contrast, the chorus is very calming. Like it has these two very contrasting feelings of the eerie verse and then the calm chorus, which I think is like done really well.
Well, I have to agree with the first part of what you said. I love this really creepy, kind of unsettling atmosphere. It fits him so well.
Mhm.
And I think that his really soft voice, because it's so soft and warm, it really works when it's put in contrast with the rest
Mm.
of the instrumentals. I love the verses, but I'm not a fan of the chorus. I think
Oh.
I'm kind of disappointed because I was expecting the chorus to go more intense and darker. And so every time it goes to that calm and breezy sound, I don't really like it. I'm kind of let down.
I feel like that's what makes it creepier, you know? Because then you're lulled in that security of the calm chorus again, and then it gets creepy again. I don't know.
I I hear that. It doesn't completely work for me, but I still really like the verses. It's half of a really great song to me.
And I'm pretty sure you're gonna disagree, but I also love A Thousand Times.
It's a bit boring to me, but I understand the idea. I
Okay.
see what it's supposed to be, but that's a perfect example of how his voice doesn't fit with the instrumental because the instrumental is too much like his voice. It's really soft and I guess airy. I feel like there's nothing cutting through the
Yeah,
airiness of it.
but for some moods and situations, you don't want there to be something cutting through it, right? Like it's one of those slower songs that doesn't feel heavy at all, but very light and airy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
And
true.
breezy.
So, yeah, you know what? You're right.
Yeah,
I
you
guess I was maybe too focused on the it has to be different from the voice. But yeah, I guess it does. Like I'm listening to it now as we speak, and it's true. It's nice. It's not my favorite, but it's very calming.
I was gonna say, and then there's one song that you really love.
Yes, I am in love with "Right for You." It's so good. Again, with that really creepy, or it's not as creepy, but it's more haunting than Parade.
Yeah.
I love it. For me, this one really works like fully. I'm really, really into it.
Mm.
I really like the that kind of wandering bass synth and like paired with the haunting vocals in the beginning. It's like, okay, I know exactly what it's gonna be like, and
It delivers. I didn't like it that much. I mean, I added it to my library. I liked it enough to add it. Because basically pretty much the whole album was good. um, but it didn't stand out to me.
I don't know, that was an instant fave. And yeah, instant favorite. It's gonna be probably in my favorites playlist for the year.
I found it a bit boring, I guess.
Yeah, we have pretty much opposite opinions about this album.
True. But we agree that it's a good album. He also released the Universe song Ready to Ride. I really liked that one too. But that too was one of those songs that I had to listen to a couple of times before I
Same.
realized that I like it.
I agree with this one. At first, I didn't like it. I don't like the trap hi-hats in anything ever, honestly. If I like a song with it, it's just I tolerate it, but I'm really not a fan of trap. And so I was ready to dislike it, but actually it's really cool
Yeah.
because once again, it sets that it's less creepy, but it's more.
Yeah, but it has a little bit of this
Mhm.
eerie Kang Daniel
Yes, I
style.
think that's the right word.
Yeah.
Yes, and it manages to retain that throughout the whole song, which
Yeah.
is really welcome. Also, I want someone to make a really dark, intense, epic rock or metal remix. I feel like it would work so well with this song. The melody and the darkness that's already there just would lend itself so perfectly to a metal cover. Really intense, you know?
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, I wouldn't appreciate it because I'm not into that, but I can see it. Next up, we have Move by TNX, which is their debut song. And we have very different opinions about it. I am
Yeah.
super, super excited about this song. I love it a lot, and you don't.
And I hate it a lot. This is really a great look for me. I'm not
Don't
a
worry.
hater.
Don't worry. The ones I hate are coming up.
Good. We want more hate.
um,
No, for real, I'm not a hater. I'm a positive person. I love K-pop. But this month, yeah,
it wasn't the best month to start this podcast because,
guess not.
yeah. But anyway, I love Move by TNX. I have decided that they will be the rookies of 2022 that I support, unless there's
Okay.
someone even better coming up.
Oh, that would be
It's a great debut. I mean, it's even if you don't like the song, you have to admit it's a great debut.
no. I don't have to.
No, because I mean, objectively, it's exactly the current trend, but it's a good example of it, you know?
I see. Well, I agree. It's the right trend. Like it's part of the current trend. That I agree with. That it's a good example of it. I strongly disagree with.
No, it's so good. Okay, let me convince you guys to listen to it. It's for lovers of Stray Kids, 80s and second generation strings.
That I agree with.
Right?
The
So
problem is I don't like 80s, so I'm not gonna like this either. And I don't like the noise music from Stray Kids, so I'm definitely not
that
gonna
makes
like
sense.
this.
But if you're into that, you'll
Yeah.
like it. It's a good one. The song begins with these beautiful strings that immediately gave me flashbacks to 2012. So from that, so like immediately they had my attention because I miss strings in K-pop a lot.
Yeah, same.
Um, and then it is, like I said, it's a very contemporary song. They very much captured the zeitgeist. Um, but the like we said before, I'm gonna mention the pre-chorus again. It has a really beautiful pre-chorus that gives me Stray Kids vibes.
Yes.
Right? I can,
Yeah,
yeah.
I agree. The pre-chorus is really, really good.
Okay, I'm glad. And then in the bridge, the strings are back, and I'm like, yes. And it's just such a good song, and it really like a really polished debut. It doesn't seem like a debut. It seems like they have been around for a while. And I think they are very promising and talented, and we'll probably hear from them a lot. So you should check them out.
Yeah, I also think they're talented and good. That's really not my issue. My issue is just the song. It feels like it's maliciously oh my God.
My cats are fighting.
They don't agree with me. But it feels like the song is maliciously teasing me. Like it's so close to being good. It has a really great pre-chorus.
Yes.
But then the chorus, I don't like it. I'm
That's
just,
fair.
yeah. But again, like, by all means, go listen to it and be ready to enjoy it. I'm really not here to, like, I don't, wait, what's discourage? Yeah, I'm really not here to discourage anyone from enjoying music. That's the opposite of my goal. So yes, I really want to talk about Sus by Meek Trib, which is, as you know, right up my alley. It's rock, it's
Yeah.
intense, it's harsh, and it's fast, and that's exactly what I like. It's the perfect example of how rock should be rough around the edges and imperfect. And fun. First of all, fun. It's so fun. I really like the first verse that's in that really um harsh but still kind of tame sound. And you can feel there are a lot of anger and other emotions between that. But then it goes up probably an octave and it's so intense. The next chorus is so good. So I'm just having so much fun with this song when I'm listening. And it's kind of cathartic too. That's one of the reasons I really like rock and metal and really harsh music. But it's so cathartic to hear someone kind of scream and
Hmm.
complain and everything. I love that.
That does see that does nothing for me. I never, even as like a teenager, and like a lot of people like rebellious rock music to get out
Mm.
there. I never was into that. I can't get anything out of that. So as you might have guessed, this is not really my thing. It is nothing for me. I don't know, it's totally your style, but I like rock. I don't like metal, but I like rock. But even in rock, I like, for me there needs to be more. It needs to be more of a like melodic and epic kind of rock, and less just noise, to use the K-pop lingo. I really like the end of the song though, because that is what would be more my style.
And it's so interesting because it's pretty different from the rest, right?
Yeah, yeah.
There are two parts that are really different. It's the end, and it sounds like a bridge, but it's pretty early on in the song, and it's way more subdued. It kind of feels desperate, and I really like that because at first it's really, yeah, angry and defiant, and that's fun. I'm fine with that. But then when you get these two parts that are more serious and plaintive almost,
Mm.
it kind of gives more layers to the song emotionally, and it kind of motivates the anger because you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I know where this is coming from. I can relate to that more. And I think that's a really smart way to write a song like this, to be like, yeah, but there's more than just a rebellious defiant.
I was just like, this just came to me. I never actually thought about that, but maybe because I can't really relate. That's why I don't like that kind of music because I can't really relate to anger in songs. And maybe it's because I don't really get angry. And I don't mean that in a I'm better than everyone way, because maybe it would be good to get angry every once in a while. But like, I'm not a person who gets angry a lot. So I can't really relate to that feeling, you know?
Yeah, I get that.
Hmm.
I'm kind of the same. I don't really get very angry, but for me, it's like I know this is gonna get deep, but I know very clearly that I wish I could, but I don't really let myself be angry. It
Mm,
feels like a bad emotion. But then I guess music that's really angry is really satisfying for me because it's like, oh yeah, anger is fine. It's fine to feel that, and I can kind of feel it through someone else's experience in a way.
mm,
I think that's why I really like it. And I think I've told you before, I really like music that makes me feel like my brain has gone through the laundry machine.
yeah.
I don't know how else to explain it, whether it's rock or really intense EDM or whatever the genre is. I really like that feeling that it's just so intense. And this really works for me in that way.
It's definitely an intense song. I can say that much. Uh,
So I guess this is for the people who have either too much anger or maybe not enough and could channel their anger through that.
yes.
Also, if you just like rock and chaos in music, this is for you.
Um, the next song is No Real Place by Seisumi.
Do you like this one?
No.
Can Oh, really?
Well, I don't hate it. I don't actively dislike it. It doesn't really do anything for me again. But as I listen to it again, it kind of sounds like a movie end credit song, like in a good way. Um,
I was gonna
I
ask.
would be like, I would be like, oh, that's a cool ending credit song, but I wouldn't like seek it out to listen to it. But for some reason, as I was listening to it, I was thinking of 10 Things I Hate About You, that I could kind of see it being played in that universe or in the ending credits of that film.
I haven't seen that.
What?
No, I know. I know.
Wow. Okay, you need to watch
Yes.
that.
Yes. But it's funny. It's one I thought that you might like. Because well, I didn't know, but I was suspecting that sus would be your thing. But when I put this one in the playlist, I was like, I felt like I was doing you a favor by
Oh no, now I
making
feel
you
bad.
discover this song.
No,
But oh
you were
well.
right in the way that it's like out of the few obscure songs that you added, like like the yeah,
Yeah.
more
No,
rocky.
yes.
Okay, you get what I mean. It's the one I like the
Mm.
most. Yeah.
So I wasn't completely wrong.
No.
I like it enough for the both of us, so that's fine. Because it's just, I thought you might like it because it's really fun and light and it's kind of like soft rock. And it's so catchy. It has a really poppy, catchy melody with that rock universe around it. So I
Mm,
really, really like that juxtaposition. And it's kind of repetitive, but in a good way. It feels like
mm,
you're being taken along for a ride on a circling path, but you're happy you're there. It makes me feel at the same time like I'm walking in the forest or I'm driving on a really long drive. And there's no one on the road. And also like it's on the beach at sunset.
okay.
I mostly can explain my love for this song through how I feel about it.
That makes sense.
That's one of those songs that I know that 15-year-old me would have loved. And I think that's because it sounds like one of Arcade Fire's more upbeat songs in a way, and that's my favorite band ever. So it makes
Mm,
sense that I would like it so much. And the group has some really, really great stuff. I'm really excited about them and happy that they're around, basically.
Good for you.
Yeah, thanks. I'm sad you don't like it more, but
Maybe it'll grow on me.
let's talk about Classy's debut album, Class is Over. And I think you have some good things to say about it.
Semi good, but I have things to say for sure. Well,
Good.
actually, they released two mini albums this month. There was their debut mini album Class is Over with the title song Shutdown, and then there's a second one called Lives Across that they released at the end of the month. And but I don't think they promoted that, or at least
Right,
not
that
so.
totally flew under the radar.
Yeah, I only saw it because I went back to check out the songs in preparation for the episode. I was like, huh, there's more?
Yeah,
Um,
I had no idea.
you didn't miss much though. Well, on the second mini album, they have the song Same, Same, Different. And it was only then when I realized that they are actually the girls from that NBC survival show, My Teenage Girl. Because, like,
What?
yeah, I wasn't following that show at all, but I remember hearing
Me
that song
neither.
when like 30 of the contestants sang it together, and I hated
Oh,
it. I think they even went on a music show with it. And it's as personally, I find the song super annoying. So I wasn't exactly thrilled to discover that they sing it.
yeah.
Yeah, but that solved that mystery that they are these girls. All in all, I'm not impressed with these two first mini albums. I mean, it's not bad music, but there's not really a personal tone or personal color or any outstanding song on it. It's a very tame, very generic girl group debut.
Mm.
Um, and I feel like these days, where there are so many groups, you can't afford to have a mediocre debut. Like you should try to stand out in some way. Um, yeah, in my opinion, the title song "Shutdown" is the definitely the best of the album or of the two albums, and but it's not like anything crazy, unique, or yeah, but it's a good workout song I've discovered. um, and I actually like the music video. I feel like they definitely hit the zeitgeist with the zombie theme, like the zombies in school. It's also
Mm.
not a novelty or like super creative choice, but it's definitely a good choice for 2022.
Yeah.
Zombies are still hot, so um, yeah, I did like Feeling So Good also from the first mini album. That is pretty nice. And for me, it's probably the closest to a spring girl group song that was released this month. So I like that. This the kind of girl group song that we haven't really gotten a lot lately, like this more uplifting, breezy, fun thing instead of like the
Yeah.
intense, dark. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
it's all girl crush and no
Yeah.
fun. But yeah, I mostly agree with what you said about Shutdown. I think I like it more than you do. I saw someone reviewing it, can't remember who, and they were like, this is a bit shouty and not great. So I was ready to not like it, but actually I was pleasantly surprised. But it feels like more of a guilty pleasure. It's not like, oh, this is really great. It's just really fun,
Mm,
you know. So
yeah.
I enjoy it. It's not my favorite, but exactly what you said. It's so nice to finally have more fun songs. For well, fun girl group songs because that was a desert in the girl group department
Yeah.
month.
But honestly, fun boy group songs too. Like I want
Yeah,
someone to
true.
bring back like the cute, bright B1A4 type boy group music, you know?
Well, there is at least one this month, but we'll talk about it later. Um,
Oh, okay.
but yeah, it feels like a very like stern, serious month, which is
Yeah.
weird for May because usually that's when. Well, but I guess it might be because G Friend doesn't exist anymore, and they used to have those really fresh, fun. spring songs, and A-Pink is now doing something not at all in that style, which is
Mm.
also great. It's just that there's kind of a vacuum.
Yeah, and even Weekly left that path, which is sad.
Yeah. And then Feeling So Good for me is a little too close to being a children's song for me.
What?
Yeah, a bit babyish to me.
What? And that's coming from the girl group lover.
I know, I'm
Oh.
extremely surprised. But there's one song I think I like, well, no, I know I like more than Shut Down, and it's Tell Me One More Time. Drama, intensity,
Mm.
full bass line. It's kind of dreamy, great melodies. It's so good. It's everything I want from a girl group song.
I'm just kind of sick of that bass, you know? It's
Yeah, I
been
get that. I
around in
get that.
K-pop for like,
A
yeah,
few years.
2018 is kind of when it started, I feel like.
But it's funny, I was listening to this song earlier and thinking about that cool bass line. And I was kind of feeling sorry for you because I remember back in January when we checked out the first few songs of the year that had a lot of that bass on heavy vibe. You were over it,
Yeah, very
and
much.
it's now June.
When the trend was starting, I was like, ooh, funky bass. But now I'm just so sick of it. Like, I've heard it
Yeah,
a
I get
thousand
that.
times and it's always the same bass line. Please get over it.
Yeah, I do love the 70s feel it brings here, but and mostly I like the trend, but I totally get that you would get sick of it.
Yeah. Are we moving on to the next one? Or any final
Yeah,
words about Classy?
no,
Okay.
I'm excited to see what they do next.
Yeah, we have another debut coming up. That's Les Serafim's Fearless. And
Yeah.
to me, to go back to what I just said about Classy, I feel like they actually did one thing very right, and it's standing out. It might not be the song of the
Hmm.
year, like it's not the best song ever, in my opinion, but it is a debut that stands out and that you'll remember. It's quite a statement. Um,
And if you don't remember it for the song, you remember it for everything that's going on
yeah,
with the the group.
most people have heard about them by now for
Yes.
for one reason or another.
Yeah, but the good
um,
thing is, even without the drama, the I totally agree that the song definitely stands out.
right, yeah.
Yeah. And it's honestly it's kind of fierce and confident, but
Mm,
it's simple. It's really simple and straight to the point, but I think we talked about it before, and it feels like they're just saying like, just so you know, we're here.
yeah,
We're not waiting for you to judge us and to say if we're good or not. We're just here to stay. That's it.
which is ironic.
Well, to stay, we'll see. But at least the song really channels that kind of feeling, and I am here for it.
Yeah,
We'll see what happens with the group, but if we're strictly discussing the music, then
it's
great.
good
Yeah.
start. It's a great debut. Yeah. I
Yes.
was a bit disappointed by the B-sides because, I love checking out B-sides. I'm always hoping to discover treasures in the B-sides. I didn't like any of them, but with a title song that strong and this being their debut, that's okay for me. So I was, yeah, a bit disappointed, but it didn't really ruin the whole debut experience for me.
Yeah. As for me, I really like the Great Mermaid, and I'm hoping that maybe you'll listen to it again and maybe change your mind. Who
Maybe I'll
knows?
come around. Okay, I'll give it another
Yeah.
shot.
But it's just really also really different. I really like that it starts really shaky and uncertain. You're not really sure where it's going.
Mm,
And I think that's due to the really weird, gritty, grinding synth that's almost kind of rubbing against the vocal melody in a really cool way. I don't know exactly how to describe it better than that, but it's really like, ooh, this shouldn't be here, but it really works. I love that in a song when you're like, oh, I wouldn't have done that, but I love it. And you kind of get release from that tension and shakiness in the pre-chorus because that completely drops out. That synth is completely gone, and you're like, oh, it feels more empty, but it feels more stable because
Mm.
that's what's making it kind of uncertain and weird. And I really like that, like the whole song kind of plays with that. It kind of comes in and out all the time. And I also just really like the really beautiful high vocals. These girls are good.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like the fun, distorted, kind of industrial sounds are really, really nice in a girl group song with really soft, sweet voices. That's
Mm,
really
yeah, that
great
makes sense.
contrast.
Like I can see that. I'll give it another shot.
Let's move on to Tomorrow by Together's Thursday's Child.
Yes. I'm so excited. I was probably the comeback I was most excited about this month.
Mm,
I think Tomorrow by Together have one of the best, if not the best, discography of fourth generation groups.
yeah.
Their discography is almost no skip for me. Unfortunately, they have given me two skip songs on this mini album.
Mhm.
But let's talk about the good first.
Yes.
Opening sequence is a 10 out of 10.
Yeah,
It
absolutely.
right.
So good.
It is absolutely incredible. Um, I I'm not sure if I can describe why it is so great, but it's just great. It's almost like hypnotizing. Like it puts me in a trance, but in a good way.
Yes. Yes, exactly. It's really haunting and hypnotizing and
Yeah.
so beautiful despite it being kind of dark. Everything works together absolutely perfectly to just make this amazing, like heart-wrenching and dark, intense song. It's just so good. Everything from the instrumental to the vocals are just to die for.
Yeah, it's absolutely perfect. I wish they had made that one the title song. I mean,
Same, exactly what I was thinking.
Good Boy Gone Bad is not bad. It's actually quite good, but it can't beat opening sequence. And I feel like
Yeah.
in my book, Good Boy Gone Bad's only flaw is that it was released after the masterpieces that were Love Song and Loser Lover, because it
Yeah,
does pale a bit in comparison. Like it's a good song, but
absolutely.
it those were just great, like just perfect. So
Yeah. And even though like, it keeps some of the aspects from those because there's still that really, I was gonna say really strong rock vibe. There's a bit of rock.
yeah, I feel like they have kind of found this. I mean, maybe it's just a phase for them, but I feel like they have kind of found this niche that fits them really well, like this subgenre they have created for themselves
Mm,
since Love Song. That is this very specific boyish, rebellious, rock inspired sound, but still,
hmm
K-pop, still idol group, but yeah, but very like this rebellious, um, rocky thing, and it fits them
hmm
so well. I'm so happy about it, and I think
Yeah.
in general, um, dark concepts fit them super well. So that's really cool.
Yeah. I agree. Um, it feels a little too much like I don't know, like not serious enough.
Hmm. Okay.
I don't know if that's a very good way to describe it, but also the whole good boy gone bad idea. Yeah, I find it honestly a bit cringe at this point, and the longer I've been in K-pop, the worse it is because it feels really disingenuous to me to be like, oh yeah, bad boys, bad girls, because it's not only about them. Um, but all of the bad boys and bad girls concepts. are kind of disingenuous and hypocritical when you think about the fact that idols are absolutely not allowed to be bad boys and bad girls for real. I mean, I'm not saying that they should be bad people, but the smallest little deviation from the path and they're punished pretty severely.
Yeah, but then you could also say that all the good girl, good boy style comebacks are disingenuous too, because like you know that they're not always perfect and it's just an act. You could say that pretty much
True.
about any concept.
I guess it just bugs me that it's like, oh yeah, they're so bad. Look at our idols, they're so bad. But if they did anything remotely bad, they would be punished.
Yeah.
But yeah, like to get back to the actual song, it's a little lackluster.
Yeah, especially, I mean, I can't really judge it objectively because I have the last two comebacks very clearly still in my
Yeah, same.
yeah, if I only knew this song, I would be like, oh, this is great.
Because they, as you said, they have a really, really great discography. And
Hmm.
sadly, while it's not bad, it's probably their worst title song.
I wouldn't say I, I would have to think.
It is Cats and Dogs, a
Yeah,
title
right.
song. I
See,
mean,
so I would have to think about this statement for a bit longer
yeah,
to agree or disagree.
but still, it's not bad. It's just they have such a high standard that this one is just like under the standard, and so it stands out.
For another group, it would be a great song, but for
Yeah,
them, it's not one of the best. Yeah,
yeah,
but definitely everyone should check out opening sequence.
yes,
But then I think we both really hate Trust Fund Baby.
yeah. No follow up.
Yeah, let's just leave it at that. Yeah, you know I love a good ballad, but it's not a good ballad.
Nope.
Yeah.
Sorry. No.
Okay, next we're gonna talk about 17's album Face the Sun. Do you want to begin or should I?
Sure. Um, so I was wrong and you, well, I was kind of wrong and you were kind of right about
Ooh.
Hot because at first I didn't really like it. But that was a very fast judgment for me because I hadn't even listened to the whole song when I said I didn't like it. So I'm sorry. I apologize. The thing is, I got a bit scared because there's a bunch of auto-tuned noises and whoops and stuff going on in the beginning. As you know, I don't like that. But actually, after that, it gets really nice. I really like the guitar and the beat is really nice. And I like that kind of a siren, like the siren noise going on is really, oh, it's a nice touch. And it's a really high energy and fun. I don't like the whooping, but I can get behind the rest. It feels like a perfectly good song that didn't have to have that like hype vibe added to it. But other than that, I really like it. You're right.
I am so glad to hear that. I didn't expect that change of mind.
Yeah, me neither.
As you know, this release of theirs sent me down a whole 17 hole.
Yep.
Because the thing is, for a long time, I didn't really get the 17 hype. They
Mm,
debuted during my K-pop break, so I never checked out their early stuff. I mean, I knew Pretty You because it's pretty much impossible not to know the song. But apart from that, I only really heard their newer songs like 2018 and newer. And yeah, I haven't checked them off on my Excel sheet yet. Well, now I have, but I hadn't before this release because I wasn't in a hurry. I wasn't really that interested in it because the songs that I knew, like the newer songs, um, weren't really my style. But that changed last year. They started releasing really good stuff.
yeah.
That made me go for the first time. Do I like 17 now? um, they released, wait, what was it? The one before Rock with You.
Ready to Love.
No, one before that.
Oh,
um,
anyone.
yes, they released Anyone, which was the first one I liked. And then they doubled down with Rock With You, which I also
Mhm.
really was right down my lane. Um, yeah, but I still didn't check out the whole discography until they released this album because it was so good. I was so impressed that I had to go check out everything. And turns out I really like their early stuff. I love their 2016 to 2017 stuff. I just don't like the middle part of their discography, apparently. But yeah, I obviously love Hot as well. I think it's a case of going with the current trends done right.
Yeah,
Because
mostly.
yeah, mostly. Because like we mentioned a bunch of times now, there's so many songs that were released lately where you're like, yeah, this is actually what's in trend right now, but it sounds like it's so generic that it sounds like 50 other songs. But
Mm.
Hot is catchy, unique, and fun enough to not get lost in the sauce.
Yeah, I would
Yeah,
agree with that.
it's honestly so good. It's always stuck in my head.
Yeah, it's really fun. It's definitely a confidence boosting song too. I feel like if you're just like walking around listening to this, no one can do anything to bring you down.
That's
You're
true.
gonna be fine.
Yeah, and it's a pretty great album in general. There's a bunch of good songs. I also really like Domino and Don Quixote.
Yeah, same. I kind of fell in love because I think I checked out the rest of the album before I properly listened to Hot. Domino was an instant favorite, I guess. Yeah.
Mhm.
So floaty and soft and groovy. It's really groovy. And then the more I guess square chorus cuts through the layers of fluff, and it's so great. It's so satisfying. And the second part of the chorus with the piano or keyboard is also really, really great. There's just a really good balance between soft and harsh. And even the
Mm.
raps aren't always welcome in K-pop songs because it feels like the obligatory part of a song. And it's just yeah, it feels fun and exciting. It fits in with the songs. I just really like it.
All in all, a pretty good album,
Yeah.
and it kind of changed my whole opinion about them.
Um Next, like let's talk about Far Away by Boyhood, which is one that I didn't think you would like, but apparently you do.
Yes. Um,
Okay.
well, I'm kind of surprised that you think I wouldn't like it. um,
Well, I feel like it's possibly something that would be your style, but also possibly something that you would find boring.
well, admittedly, the first time I did find it boring, but I didn't actually. It's the same with like with you and Hot by 17. I didn't actually listen to the whole song the first time. I dismissed it pretty soon. I was like, no. But
Mm.
I changed my mind. I actually really like it now. I can totally recommend listening to it on a train and looking dramatically out the window.
Yes.
It's like a song that has drama, you know? And
Yes.
I love drama in songs.
Hmm.
Yeah, it starts great from the first note and it just continues that way. Like from the first strum of the guitar,
Yeah.
it's just a good song.
Yeah. It's just really, really beautiful.
Yes.
It's a little sad and everything, but mostly it's just beautiful. There's no other way to really describe it. It's a rock ballad. It's soothing and it's sad and it's beautiful
And dramatic.
and dramatic. That's basically all I have to say. Just please go listen to it. It's a hidden treasure. Go listen to it. You
Yes,
won't regret it.
I second that.
I'm really excited to next talk about Issu du Feu by Kitty Boy. Is it one of those songs that you changed your mind about?
Oh no.
Okay, well, you should go first
Oh,
so
because
that
you want
then
to
I
end on a positive note.
yes.
So am I allowed to start like really negatively?
Yes.
Okay, I hate it. I
Hate is a strong word.
I know, but I feel like I've used it a bunch of times today.
It's true, yeah.
Yeah, the first time I listened to it, I was like, is she kidding me now? Why would you add that?
Because it's so good.
It's okay, it's so annoying. Um, very weird sounds in it. If you wanted to make a song specifically for me to hate or like a song to annoy me, this would be the one.
I'm so shocked.
I'm
Okay,
sorry.
go on.
No, that's basically all.
Oh, okay. What? I'm so shocked. Okay. Well, first of all, you're wrong. It's so good. But it is weird. It has weird sounds, and that's why I really like it. Because at first it sounds really empty, and it's emptiness and weird sounds. I think you
Mm,
would agree with that.
yes.
So good. Well, admittedly, the lights turning on sound kind of drove me mad at first. I was like, oh my God, what's going on? But it's so fun. And then when you get to the pre-chorus, there's more drama and it gets really exciting. And then the chorus is just an explosion of sounds and noises
Yeah,
and
exactly.
melody. Yes, but it's good.
I
It's
think it
really quirky and
I
weird,
think it
but
comes
in a good way.
down to what you said before, because you said you like music that makes you feel like your brain was in a washing machine or something like that.
Yeah.
And I get that if you like that, this would be a song for you.
But
But
it's too soft to make you feel like that.
I wouldn't know.
It's relaxing.
Because when I what I want from music is a nice melody or a catchy beat. But like,
And that's exactly what this song is.
no, this is just noise.
But it's
This is
so
just
fun.
nonsense.
No.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's so good. It's really wacky and weird, and I love it.
But did you see like did you seriously think I would like it? I
I
mean, I
thought,
don't mean that in a mean way, but like, did you think it would fit my taste?
yeah, like possibly, yeah.
Okay. So I'm sorry to disappoint you.
Yeah, I am disappointed. But I mean, again, I've brought you the same kind of feeling
It's very
before. Yeah, this is right up my alley. That's why Kitty Boy, and it's been a few years since I really liked one of his songs. He's been doing other stuff I didn't like as much, but this is perfect. That's what I wanted from him.
Okay. Well, then I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
So that was our detailed, very detailed discussion of well, you guys listening won't actually know how detailed because we'll have to cut it down. But how many hours have I been talking now?
I don't
4?
many? Four?
I think so.
Oh wow, yes, you're right.
Yeah. But that was our detailed discussion of the songs that we had a lot to say about. um, but we want to add a little segment called the 3 word section, where we will, as the title says, we will say 3 words about each song. And it's just songs that either one of us liked a lot or it's a big release by a big artist that we feel like we should mention, but we didn't have a ton to say. So it's been moved to this section.
Yes. And it's 3 words and that's it.
Yes.
No exception, no follow-up questions.
Which in some cases is tough, I have to say.
In most
I
cases.
know. Let's start with Candy Sugar Pop by Astro.
Okay. What are your 3 words?
So my 3 words are just the title of the song, Candy Sugar Pop.
Okay. Nice. Mine are dynamite done right.
Oh, good one. Good
Yeah.
one. Okay.
Mm,
Next we have But You by Icon. I have 80s Unexpected Fun.
Okay, mine amazing meh chorus.
Okay. I see.
Then we have Triple Grunge Man by London Fuzz. And my words will probably be very different from yours. Mine are
Yes.
trippy, buzzy, yes.
Mine are I hate it.
Let's just move on.
What's next?
Okay, then BTBT by B.I., Soldier Boy, and Davida.
Mine are contemporary Western vibey.
And mine are surprising, chill, good.
Next we have Na 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 by GOT7. Mine are underwhelming, skirt, chill.
Mine are hate. This is a fun section.
We should do the whole podcast just like
3 words. Okay, so next up is Deep by Hyo. What are your words?
Mine are gets annoying soon.
And mine are Goddess, almost great.
Okay. Venom by Bandit. Mine are club dance shots.
Mine are stupid, fun, intense.
Okay, that works. Next up, we have Nevermind by Un and Dol. I have actually 2 sets of 3 words.
That's against the rules.
I know. Okay.
But I'll allow it.
Okay, thank you. The first set is dissonant, weird, different. And then in other words, the other set is not my thing.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Mine are quirky, discordant, vibey. Then, we have Beatbox by NCT Dream.
Okay. Better with time.
Okay. Mine are limp, empty, disappointing. Sorry.
Okay, I see.
Let's go with I Hate You by Woods.
I have Rock Fits Him.
I have Rock 2000s and Playful.
Next we have, I don't know if I'll pronounce it right, Wei Chori by Chang Minho.
Yeah. Surprising, sexy, drama.
Mine are Accordion Beyond Evil.
Interesting. Let's go for Okay by Witches. And I have relaxing, intense, and profound.
I have Weird Voice, no.
Since I can't, I will say nothing.
Yes. Next we have The Greatest by Boa. I have sexy, modern spelling.
I have funky, exciting dance. Last one is Spices by Bekirin, and I have unique, fresh, great.
I have boring, doesn't deliver.
I am calm. I am collected. I feel no negative emotions. I'm fine.
That's good.
I'm doing good. Well, that was interesting. That was a really fun segment.
This is going to be my favorite segment from now on. So yeah, we have now recapped the whole month, basically. What are your, let's say, 3 highlights of the month?
3 Sus by Meat Drip.
Love
that. Blossom by Hwayeon. And Phase Me by Usang.
We have one in common. I'd say mine are Phase Me by Usang, Opening Sequence by Tomorrow by Together, and The Story by Kang Daniel.
Yeah, that checks out. Yeah.
I sense some judgment.
No, not at all. Like, absolutely not. I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Yes.
So yeah, we have reached pretty much the end of our first episode. I realized that we are, like, I hope people don't think we are too mean.
No, like for real, as I said before, I'm not a hater, and I'm not saying that because I know I was the hater here.
No.
But I'm not a hater, and I'm not saying that my opinions are correct. I'm just saying that's what I think. But anyone else is welcome to feel however they feel.
Yeah, and we don't criticize the artists. It's just about the
No.
songs. And we criticize any artist if we don't like the song, even our
Yeah.
favorites, even 80s and the Vix.
Yes,
Yeah.
it happens. Yeah, and especially I want to say that even if we said we didn't like something by an artist, it doesn't mean that we're not still gonna check whatever they release next.
Because it's physically impossible for us not to not to check out this stuff.
Yeah, we just like music. We want to
Yes.
know more great songs, so we're open to anything.
Yes. So um thank you very much for listening, and we hope you will continue to do so and hear us rant about more music in the future.
Yes. Talk to you in 2 weeks.
Yes. And have a good time until then.
Bye.
Bye.